So obviously Liverpool are doing really well at the moment, 6 wins in a row, and with that we need to keep building, the dynamics of the team's confidence going into, obviously next season, and that's the most important thing really. If you come to think of it, in terms of, can you imagine if we hadn't gone and won these 6 games in a row? It would have been a really diabolical end of the season. We'd have just had no to, look forward to. We'd have had nothing to sort of have any hope going into next year. But now, we've not only got hope going into next year, but we've also got an extra, what I'd say, 25% pulling ability for players. So, for example, if we were going in for a player now and we were 11th in the league, we're going to look, we're going to have to fight a lot harder to get our targets in. But now, you go and speak to a target right now, they know Liverpool are a point away from Champions League. So any signing now that Jurgen speaks to will look at Liverpool, and I know Liverpool's already a great proposition anyway, but they will look at Liverpool as, these ain't going to be out of the Champions League for long if we don't get it this season. I'm probably one of the only few supporters that still believe we can finish 4th. And what makes me laugh a little bit was the way the media portrayed yesterday as a great result for Newcastle. How can it be? They dropped 2 points. So it wasn't a great result for Newcastle yesterday. It was a bad result for Newcastle yesterday, because it gives us an incentive now, again, to go and close the gap on Newcastle to only 1 point. Now, I can't understand some of our fans that are like, oh, it's not going to happen. You're asking for Newcastle to lose 2 games. Well, no, you're not. Newcastle could draw 3 games, or they could draw 2 and say win 1 or lose 1. Who knows? I mean, I looked at it yesterday. Maximum amount of points Liverpool can get is 71 points. So let me just have a look, because it'd be easier to explain in detail before I do my preview. So here's the top 4, right? So the top 4 says, obviously, Arsenal are set behind Man City. Who cares about the top 2 at the moment? Let's talk about 3rd, 4th and 5th. So Newcastle played 35 games. We've all played the same amount of games, right? We've all played 35 each. Currently, Manchester United sit 4th above us on 66, and Newcastle sit 3rd above us on 66, right? So we are currently 4 points behind Newcastle and Manchester United with 3 games left, right? Okay, I think Man United are going to finish top 4 based on the fact they're playing at home another 2 times, so I can't see them not doing it. Plus the teams are playing are pretty shit, really, right? Newcastle United have still got to play Brighton and Hove Albion, who can get into the Europa League or the Europa Conference League, right? So they're going to be well up for it. And Brighton are going to be a really good counter-attacking side when they go to St James's Park. They then got to play Leicester City, who are fighting for their dear lives, right? Knowing that they need to win every game from now to the end of the season. So that's going to be a bloody hard game. And then their last game of the season. Now, this is where I think it's vital. I think if Liverpool can get it to the last game of the season, where it's going to be winner takes all. Chelsea are at home to Newcastle, last game of the season. And it's going to be Frank Lampard's last game. And he's a club legend. So he's going to want to go out with a bang. Right, they won yesterday. They've won the last couple now, so they're on a little bit of a mini run now, Chelsea. So why do Newcastle have never been in this position before, where they're fighting top 4? So they're going to be a little bit all over the place. And let's get it straight, by the way. I watched the game yesterday between Leeds and Newcastle, and Leeds should have scored the penalty and gone 2-0 up. And if they'd gone 2-0 up, they'd have won the game. So Leeds are a poor side. I mean, Palace beat them 5-1, and we beat them 6-1. So they're not a great side, Leeds, and for them to scrap and get to a point off Newcastle, I think that Brighton will get a win at Newcastle, or at least a draw. And Leicester, like I say, are fighting for their lives. So I can't see Newcastle winning the next 2 out of the next 3. I can't see it. So all Liverpool have to do is do what we have to do, which is just win our games, and then we're in the hat. If we can get it to the last day of the season, we are away at relegated Southampton. They are gone. They are going to be gone. All the players' heads of confidence is shot. Ward-Prowse is on his way. Please get us to that last game of the season, because I think even if, like, say, Chelsea get a draw against Newcastle at home, I think we'll still finish top 4. I just genuinely believe it, because if we can win our game in hand not a game in hand. If we can win on Monday, we go to win within 1 point of Newcastle. If Newcastle then lose their game in hand against Brighton, right, it's going to be 1 point. So if we can get to the last game of the season, right, and it's only going to be 1 point between, or 2 points between us, have they got a better goal difference? Newcastle have got a better goal difference. But having said that, that goal difference isn't a lot, by the way. It's 4 goals. Now, if I'm Jurgen Klopp now, I'm asking my players to be ruthless. I'm asking my players to go out and get as many goals as possible, because that could be what gets us top 4. And if you think about it, who are you going to want to play last game of the season if you need to get a better goal difference? Southampton away. We could easily go there and beat them 3-4, 5-6-0. You just don't know. Their heads are going to be gone. Half of their players will be getting released. Half of them will be, their agents will be on the phone now trying to get them moves. So I really do think, I can't understand our fan base. Some of them are just going fifth. But by the way, that like fifth is a shit thing. Considering where we were in the league, fifth I'd take right now, because it's guaranteed Europa group stage. We can build, we can bring some players like Ben Doak through. And let's have a look at this lad who's on loan at Bristol Rovers, who's currently going to the World Cup with England. The big centre half we've got, I forgot his name, but it'll probably come back to me in a minute. So if it was me, Europa group stage, I'm quite happy with that. We've had some great nights in Europe before. Borussia Dortmund, Manchester United, Sevilla, Villarreal. We've had some great nights. So I'm not a toff. I'd rather us be in Europe than not in Europe. Simple as, right? Because at the end of the day, being in the Europa League next season gives us a better chance of getting into the Champions League next year, because it gives us 2 chances. And, you know, it's strong. I mean, Barcelona and Man United have gone out of the Europa League this year, so it just goes to show you that it's not a mugs competition that everybody seems to think it is. But I still believe we'll finish top 4. I really do. Depending on whether we get the win against Leicester, which I really do think we should and will. So I'm just going to read out my preview. Hi doing, Peter McDougall. All right, bud. Hope you're well. Brighton lad be first one in the door by looks of things. Quality signing. You're about McAllister. Goals from midfield, and that will make us even stronger. We just need to keep winning and make sure we win a game at a time, as see what happens last game of the season. Been a while since it's been to the last game of the season. As I think the last time we went to the last game of the season was the Gini Wijnaldum one, wasn't it, mate? When he scored, weirdly, against Newcastle for us to go into the top 4. So, yeah, that'll be great. It's been a while since it's gone to the top 4 for the last game of the season, but we've obviously gone down to the last game of the season twice with Man City for the title. So here's my preview anyway for Leicester City versus Liverpool. So, Leicester City versus Liverpool Football Club kicks off tomorrow night 8 p.m. With the Reds race for the Premier League, for the Premier League survival set for a photo finish, Leicester City find themselves chasing the pack after a 3-game winless streak, drawing 2 and losing 1. Ensured they'll head into another game week in the relegation zone. Their defence has proved the obvious Achilles heel in their battle against the drop, having failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 20 Premier League outings. I mean, that's brilliant news for us. They haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 20 games. They've only won 3, drawn 4 and lost 13 games. And it goes on to say, that's proven massively frustrating for their front line, who have mostly done their bit by finding the net in 10 of their 17 winless games, and they'll have felt aggrieved against their last outing at Fulham, where Leicester lost 5-3. That spells trouble for both Dean Smith, who won't be happy to be preparing to face Liverpool, considering he lost 4 of his last 5 head-to-heads, winning 1 in his managerial career. The prospect of his misery extending is made even more frightening by the fact Liverpool have now produced 6 straight wins, though each of their last 5 came by a narrow 1-goal margin, as was the case in reverse fixture when they ran out 2-1 winners. Jurgen Klopp's side have subsequently cemented themselves in 5th place, while also laying the foundations for a potential late assault on the top 4. The need for such form would normally be redundant at this point of the season, but the Reds' poor away form this campaign has cost them dearly. They've secured more than double the amount of points at home, 43, compared to their away haul of only 19 points, and that discrepancy would have been worse had it not been for winning their last 2 fixtures on the road. Players to watch: Leicester City survival hopes may rest on the shoulders of Jamie Vardy, who looked to add to his 10 goals scored in the last 13 games against Liverpool. Excuse me. For the opposition, Mohamed Salah is on the brink of another historical landmark, being a single strike away from becoming the first Liverpool player since Roger Hunt in the 1960s to secure 20-plus league goals in 3 successive seasons. A hot streak. Liverpool lost a Premier League match when leading. Liverpool's last loss of a Premier League match with leading at half time was December 2016, going 123 such matches unbeaten, winning 113 and drawing 10. The odds are Leicester City you can get at 9-2, the draw 7-2, Liverpool are 53-100 odds on favourites. Players that were not players: Justin and Vestergaard. For Leicester, questionable is Bertrand and Iniacho. For Liverpool, it's Basetic, Ramsey and Thiago. And questionable is Firmino and Naby Keita, but Klopp's already ruled both of them out. The match is live on Sky Sports, so I hope you enjoy it. And like I say, you know, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep winning football matches, and then, you know, that's as best as we can do and keep ourselves in the hat. If we can get it to the last game of the season, I've said this, we have Southampton away and Chelsea have Newcastle United at home, and I think that is where it'll be a game changer. I cannot see Newcastle winning away at Chelsea. I just can't. They're on a winning streak now, they're on a run, and I've told you, it's Frank Lampard's last match as Chelsea manager, and he will get a good send-off, and Chelsea will want to win their last home game of the season. That's a fact. You'll never walk alone.